Sometimes we meet people who thoroughly shake our world. They don't just walk into our lives, they arrive like a spiritual earthquake. Their presence feels both comforting and terrifying. They make us feel at ease, yet they trigger something deep within us that changes our reality entirely. In the twin flame journey, this experience is often felt most intensely between two souls destined to push each other toward healing and growth. Among these dynamics, the twin flame relationship between the chaser and the runner is one of the most confusing yet transformative. The chaser is the one partner ghosted by the runner but who keeps the faith alive. The chaser holds on to the connection, the bond, and the knowing that what they experienced wasn't ordinary. Even though the pain of separation cuts deep, the chaser believes that the runner will return one day. If you're watching this, you might be that chaser. The one left behind. The one who felt broken yet hopeful. But what if we told you that the universe used you not just to love them, but to wake them up? What happened between you and your twin flame was not random. It wasn't just coincidence or bad timing. It was divinely planned. Every silence, every misunderstanding, every moment of closeness, and every final goodbye, all of it was part of something bigger than both of you. The universe was working behind the scenes, using you as a catalyst, a mirror, to awaken the runner's soul. At first, the runner didn't know what was happening. They were confused and overwhelmed. Your connection to them was not just emotional, it was soul deep. You gave them your love, honesty, and raw emotional depth. You showed up with your whole heart. But that energy, your energy, was too intense. It stirred things inside of them they weren't ready to face. And so they ran. It may have looked like rejection. It may have felt personal. But it was not a rejection of you, but a reaction to the war inside them. You were the mirror. You reflected a truth they had buried for years, maybe lifetimes. Your love brought up their shadows. Your authenticity made them question their masks. And that terrified them. What the runner felt wasn't just fear of the connection, but of themselves. Fear of being truly seen, losing control, and confronting the parts of themselves they had locked away. So they left. They distanced themselves, not because you were too much, but because they weren't enough in their own eyes. Because you awakened a truth they weren't ready to live with. When they walked away, it felt like your world collapsed. Everything you had hoped for and tried to nurture vanished in a blink. It seemed unfair. How could someone you loved so deeply not see what was real? But the pain of that separation served a purpose. In that void, space was created. Space for reflection. Space for healing. Space for the runner to begin hearing the whispers of their soul. In your absence, the distractions they once used to ignore their emotions started to fade. The feelings they buried began to surface. The confusion they once blamed on you began to take a new shape, clarity. Slowly, quietly, they began to understand. The discomfort they felt around you was not because you were wrong, but because you were real. And it scared them. You came into their life to ignite something sacred, something ancient, buried in their soul. The universe used your love, patience, and even your pain to awaken their sleeping spirit. You were the match that lit the flame. At a time, they blamed you. They pushed you away. They might have even said hurtful things to protect their fragile ego. But deep down, your energy lingered. It didn't just disappear, it echoed through their thoughts, dreams, and moments of silence. And slowly, their soul began to wake up. But you didn't force it. You didn't manipulate it. You didn't beg or chase endlessly. What truly sparked their growth was your existence and truth. You stood in your light, even when it hurt. You held the mirror and let it reflect. That was more powerful than anything you could have said or done. The universe didn't need someone perfect, it needed someone honest. Someone strong enough to love and let go. And that someone was you. You may never get credit for the role you played. The runner may never come back and say, "Thank you." They may not fully understand what you were to them until much later, if ever. But that doesn't change the fact that your role was sacred. You were the one who planted the seed, the one who cracked open the shell. You were the trigger, and your presence changed everything. And while the runner was on the journey of awakening, you were on yours. Don't forget that. This separation didn't just shape them, it shaped you too. You were pushed to the edge of your heart, to the depths of your soul. You had to learn to heal, surrender, and reclaim your identity outside the connection. You had to stand alone and still choose love, not for them, but for yourself. The pain forced you to grow. The silence taught you to listen, not to them, but to your inner voice. The space gave you clarity, self-worth, and emotional depth you never thought possible. You became stronger, wiser, and more grounded. The universe didn't just use you to trigger their awakening, it used the connection to initiate yours. Looking back, you may still wonder why it hurt so much. Why did the one you loved so deeply run? Why didn't they stay and grow with you? The answer is simple, yet profound, because their soul needed you to wake them up, not to rescue them, not to heal them, but to shake them. To remind them of a truth they forgot. To remind them of who they are beneath the fear, the trauma, and the ego. You were the doorway to their awakening. And that is not a small thing. Whether they return to you is irrelevant to your soul's role. Whether they return healed or wounded doesn't take away from what you offered. The runner may never fully realize it, but you were a gift from the universe, raw, real, and rare. One day, they may see the truth. They may look back, recognize when their life changed, and realize it was when they met you. Or maybe they won't. But either way, your purpose was fulfilled. You were the trigger. You were the light. You were the mirror. And the universe used you not to be broken, but to break open a soul that had forgotten how to feel.